If you're still writing posts and chasing leads and manually updating spreadsheets, you're wasting 70% of your week on work that AI can do in seconds. The good news is that these days you don't need a big team to grow a business. You just need the right AI agents working behind the scenes. And while most entrepreneurs are buried in busy work, the smarter ones are quietly using AI like a full-time team, handling content, research, sales follow-up, data analysis, customer support, coding, even entire marketing strategies. That's why in this video, I'm going to introduce you to 7 AI teammates that can take on the heavy lifting in your business. Think of them like a plug-and-play staff, a marketer, content creator, researcher, sales rep, analyst, support agent, and developer. By the end, you'll have a complete AI-powered team, ready to save you 20+ hours a week and thousands in staffing costs, so you can focus on growing, not grinding. Let's start with the most overloaded role in any business, the marketer. You know, the person juggling a dozen tools on 6 platforms and somehow still missing leads. If your marketing feels like duct tape trying to hold together a rocket ship, you're gonna love this first agent. Most marketing setups feel kind of like a puzzle with 1,000 pieces. You've got one tool for email, another for your funnels, you've got a third for chat, and don't even get me started on follow-ups and reviews. All in all, we're talking about a tangled mess of platforms that don't really talk to each other, and you're the one stuck trying to manage it all. Yay, marketing! Meanwhile, leads slip through the cracks, campaigns get delayed, and your strategy ends up looking more like survival mode than anything even closely resembling growth. For me, the old way of marketing kind of felt like trying to build a house with 7 different IKEA sets, none of them designed to fit together, and then wondering why the roof just kept falling in. That's why I started using High Level's AI Employee. It's basically a marketing department in a box. I use it to handle reviews and launch funnels and qualify leads and follow up with prospects, and it does all of this before I've even finished my morning coffee. That's why I call it the all-in-one marketer, because it doesn't just save time. More importantly, it eliminates the Frankenstack entirely. So instead of juggling tools, you've got one platform running the entire show. You've got voice AI answering calls and booking appointments. You've got conversation AI qualifying leads on your site and socials. There's funnel AI launching opt-ins and sales flows in minutes. There's content AI that's writing your campaigns, and workflow AI is making sure that everything is running smoothly in the background. It really is the all-in-one system that your scattered tech stack always promised, but never delivered. Now, the best way to use it is just to start with your biggest leak. For example, if you're not following up fast enough, then turn on conversation AI. If you're missing too many calls, then let voice AI handle those calls and book the appointments for you. If you happen to need a new funnel and you need it fast, then use funnel AI to build you a brand new funnel in minutes. And the kicker here is that the entire system is designed for non-techies, so there's no coding, no APIs, no headaches. All you have to do is just click and customize and launch. I've seen agencies cut client onboarding time in half, double their review responses, and automate follow-ups that used to take a full-time VA. In my opinion, this is one of the places that you're going to see the biggest impact in freeing up your time and adding to your bottom line, which rhymes. It's hard to imagine a marketing strategy working today that doesn't involve some kind of content. That said, unless you've got an army of writers and designers on payroll, content creation often becomes the biggest bottleneck for most small and medium-sized businesses. So that's where the content machine steps in. If you're anything like me, you've probably got more content ideas than you know what to do with. But getting them actually written down and polished and edited and then posted, well, that's the part that just burns through the hours. To make things worse, while you're there slogging away trying to get a draft done, you see your competitors publishing blogs and putting out carousels and newsletters like they've got a full-time writing team. Well, they do, but it's called AI. When I started seriously using ChatGPT and Claude for content, it felt like I just hired a junior copywriter who never sleeps and doesn't need coffee and actually enjoys writing social media captions at 2 o'clock in the morning. The best part is I can now create an entire week's worth of posts in 30 minutes or less. For context, that used to take me at least half a day, and I live and breathe marketing. And if you need some eye-catching images to go along with all of those text posts, well, this is where Google's new Nano Banana model in the Gemini app is a game changer. Now, I know the word game changer gets thrown around a lot in the online space here, but this one truly is kind of blowing my mind. Currently the top-rated image editing model in the world, Nano Banana, which, side note here, is also an amazing name from a marketing perspective, can maintain your brand and your business's look while transforming images in ways that were pretty much impossible before. You can blend photos together, you can change backgrounds, or you can even put yourself in completely different scenarios while keeping everything looking authentic. For example, here's an image I took last year of a farmhouse in the middle of the prairies. It's a fixer-upper. And now, here's that same farmhouse, but this time I asked Nano Banana to make it nighttime with some storm clouds building in the background. But these tools don't just help you generate words and images. Their real value is in helping you think through ideas and giving you these clean drafts that you can then refine. So instead of starting from scratch, you're starting from 80% done. And that is the real game changer. So here's how to use it effectively. First, go through all your stuff and pick your top performing post or blog or video from the last month. Then paste it into ChatGPT and say, give me 3 high-performing Instagram posts, a LinkedIn carousel outline, and a YouTube short script based on this. Then drop the best headline into Nano Banana and say, design an image that fits this tone and matches my brand colors. And in just 2 minutes, you'll have a full week of content across multiple channels custom fit to your brand. This one agent alone can easily save you 10+ hours a week, or replace a $3,000 per month copywriter and graphic designer. And the best part is, you're not locked in front of a blank screen anymore. You're just editing and refining and focusing on strategy, instead of struggling with content creation. Creating content without a clear strategy behind it is kind of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. Unsurprisingly, to actually grow, you need data, not guesses. Enter the research powerhouse. One of the biggest mistakes that I see business owners make on a regular basis is guessing. Guessing what their audience wants, guessing what competitors are doing, guessing which content will work. And let's be honest, guessing is expensive. It costs you time, it wastes ad spend, and it costs you missed opportunities. So this is where I lean heavily on Perplexity AI. To me, it feels kind of like having a research assistant who's read every blog and report and case study in your entire industry, and can hand you the highlights instantly. So instead of spending hours digging through Google and clicking 15 different links and piecing together different scraps of information, I just ask Perplexity a clear question and get a usable, source-backed answer in seconds. That's why I call this role the research powerhouse, because it removes the guesswork. Whether it's finding the best performing keywords, or analyzing competitors, or spotting new trends, you can move from I think to I know. And you can do it in minutes. And when you make decisions from data, your marketing immediately becomes more strategic, therefore more profitable. So here's how to use it. Ask for competitor breakdowns, like how are, name any of your competitors, generating leads in 2025. Run audience research queries, such as top 10 challenges for your niche right now. And generate SEO-friendly content outlines, like give me a blog outline optimized for whatever keyword you're trying to rank for. You can use these insights to guide your content strategy, your offers, even your sales messaging. The research powerhouse can replace hours of manual digging. Even better, it gives you insights fast enough to actually act on them while they still matter, which means fewer wasted campaigns, smarter content, and ultimately, way more revenue. Getting leads is one thing. Converting them into paying clients, well, that's where most businesses fall flat. You send out emails that don't get replies, leads go cold, objections pile up, and suddenly all of that effort that you put into marketing feels totally wasted. Yay, marketing. This is where I started using AI follow-up and sales agents inside platforms like High Level and Microsoft Copilot. And honestly, it feels like I hired a dedicated sales rep who never gets tired of chasing leads. These AI agents qualify prospects, follow up automatically, and even handle basic objections without me having to lift a finger. I call this role the sales closer because that's exactly what it does, by bridging the gap between interest and revenue. Instead of leads slipping through the cracks, they get nurtured with consistent, personalized touchpoints, and as a result, you get more replies, more booked calls, and more deals closed. So, here's how to set it up. First, use your software of choice to build an AI-powered follow-up sequence that sends emails, texts, or DMs the moment a lead comes in. I use High Level to do this, link in the descriptions below, and this allows you to just copy and paste over my entire lead follow-up system. Now, if you're using High Level already, you're already done, and the software is going to take care of everything for you. But if not, the next step then is to program it with common objections and simple responses in order to keep the conversation moving and to finally let it qualify leads by asking a few smart questions before they ever hit your calendar. This way, by the time you talk to a prospect, they're warm, they're interested, and they're ready to buy. The sales closer can conservatively increase response rates by 2 to 3 times, which means instead of closing 1 out of 10 leads, you now might be closing 3 or 4. Now, for most businesses, that's tens of thousands of dollars in extra revenue without hiring another salesperson. And that speed advantage alone transforms your conversion rates. Most business owners are sitting on gold inside their spreadsheets, but they never see it. You've got customer lists, sales numbers, churn rates, ad performance, but the data looks completely overwhelming. So instead of using it to make better decisions, well, you ignore it. Or worse, you rely on gut feelings. When I started running my numbers through AI, it felt like hiring a data analyst who actually enjoys digging through messy spreadsheets. Tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or even Kimi for international data analysis can scan hundreds of rows of data, find patterns, and spit out clear explanations in plain English, which is nice for normal people like me. That's why I call this the data detective, because it spots what you can't see. Maybe it shows you which clients are the most profitable. Maybe it reveals why a certain campaign is underperforming. Or maybe it catches a trend in your churn rate before it becomes a crisis. Either way, instead of flying blind, you're now making decisions with clarity, and that leads to more money with way less work. So here's how you might use it. Drop in your ad results and ask, which campaign gave me the lowest CPC, cost per click? You could copy and paste in customer churn data and ask, what's the #1 reason people are leaving? Or you could feed it your client list and ask, who are my top 10% most valuable customers? And within minutes, you'll have insights that you can act on without waiting for a consultant or analyst. The data detective can replace a $100K per year analyst or save you hours of manual number crunching. Even more importantly, it can help you catch problems early on and double down on what's actually working. That's real money saved and real growth unlocked. All right, fun fact. Your growth means nothing if your customer experience falls apart. All right, here's a brutal truth. Your business growth means nothing if your customer experience completely falls apart. And all it takes is just one bad support experience to completely cancel out 10 great marketing campaigns. So that's where our next AI teammate shines the brightest. Customer support is one of those tasks that really never ends. There's emails and DMs and FAQs and troubleshooting, and it all piles up and it does it quickly. And if you don't respond quickly enough, people get frustrated. They leave bad reviews, or they just go straight to your competitors. But if you try to handle it all yourself, it ends up eating up every ounce of your time. So when I started testing AI support tools like Claude, Google Gemini, and High Levels AI Chat widget, it felt like I'd hired a friendly front desk receptionist who works 24/7 and never takes a day off and can answer 70 to 80% of the questions before they ever even reach me. And suddenly, my inbox wasn't a war zone. It was somewhat manageable. For mobile-first customer support, Google Gemini Nano works incredibly well for handling quick responses and routing urgent issues automatically. Same goes for High Levels AI Chat widget. That's why I call it the support hero. It doesn't replace the personal touches that matter, but it takes care of the repetitive stuff like FAQs and simple troubleshooting and appointment reminders, even routing tickets to the right place. And when customers feel heard instantly, their trust in your business just skyrockets. So here's how to use it. First off, set up an AI chatbot on your website or social pages to handle FAQs and simple requests. This alone is going to save you hours of time, and at least in the case of High Levels Chat widget, all you need to do to fully train this AI is just copy and paste over your business's website URL. That's it. You can also use AI to draft first responses to emails, so you only step in when it's complex, as well as route tickets automatically so the right issues get solved faster. No joke here, the support hero can cut your support workload in half. Possibly more, which means lower staffing costs if you've got a team, or hours back in your week if you're running solo. Either way, faster replies equal happier customers, better reviews, and more repeat sales. Every business out there hits a wall eventually. A messy spreadsheet, a repetitive task, a tool that you wish existed, but doesn't. Now most people at this point just sigh, shrug their shoulders, and give up completely, thinking, if only I could afford a developer. But now, it's like you've got a genie in your computer. You describe the wish, and the code appears. That's why I started using tools like GitHub Copilot and Claude for coding support. To me, it feels like having a junior developer sitting right beside me, ready to whip up scripts and debug issues or build simple tools on command. I don't have to speak fluent code, I just describe what I want in plain English, and the AI translates it into something actually usable. And that's why I call it the Code Wizard, because it gives you the power to build and automate without the bottleneck of finding and paying for a developer. From setting up small automations that save you clicks every day to creating full dashboards that track your sales and marketing in real time. This makes custom solutions available to, well, anyone. Now, I appreciate that coding might sound a little complicated on the surface, so here are some actual practical down-to-earth ways that you can actually use this in your business. One example is you could ask it for a script that automatically organizes leads into your CRM. You could also ask it to generate snippets of code to fix small website issues, or even just to change the color of some word or font that just doesn't look right. If you're feeling a little more adventurous, you could ask it to build you a lightweight dashboard that pulls in data from multiple sources. Then all you have to do is just copy and paste over the code, and you're done. You don't need to become a programmer. You just need to know how to describe the problem that you want solved. and the AI will solve it for you. This means the code wizard can save weeks of development time or thousands of dollars in contractor fees. More importantly, it gives you the flexibility to build what you need when you need it, instead of waiting or paying through the nose. The point with this AI agent though, and all of them actually, is that when you use these agents right, you're not just saving money, you're scaling like a company that's 10 times your size. The difference between a solopreneur and a 7-figure founder in the next few months won't be hustle, it'll be automation. And these AI agents are the leverage. Use them right, and it's like cloning yourself or your very best employee 7 times over, without the payroll. And if you want step-by-step guides on setting up each of these AI agents, plus the exact prompts and tools that I use, check out the link in the descriptions below the video. Your future self, the one who skipped the 10-hour workday and hit record sales, well, thank you.